So, I read 3 books in August, which is a good amount, but it's not as many as I have been reading over the last few months. So, I thought that this would be a good time to do something a little different with my wrap up. So, I decided that I would draw or paint the book covers of the books that I read in August. So, that's what I've done, and that's what I'll show you now. And I will tell you about the books in voiceover form as we go. Sound good? Cool. Okay. Also, I don't really feel like giving these books star ratings as we go, so don't expect star ratings. The first book I read in August was Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, which is why you see me here doing some lettering for Americana. So Americana follows 2 main characters, Ifemelu and Obinze, who meet as teenagers in their native Nigeria and fall in love. The book then follows the trajectory of both of their lives as they experience life as immigrants in both America and England. And honestly, this book could be a thesis on race, particularly the chapters from Ifemelu's point of view as she navigates life in America as a successful academic and blogger. She characterizes her move to America as the first time that she discovered and confronted blackness and found that there were discrepancies in how white and black people are treated and how they treat each other. Her chapters are both a confirmation of the many microaggressions faced by black people in the West, but also a sort of condemnation, not necessarily of black people in America, but rather America more generally, for being just so obsessed with and by race. And I really thought that some of the writing in here was the most nuanced writing on the race issue that I read over the summer amidst all of the Black Lives Matter literature. So I would really, really recommend this book for its commentary on race. But the great thing about this book is that it also has so much more to offer. Both of the main characters, as well as a lot of the supporting characters, are really richly drawn. There was never a doubt in my mind that these people could exist, and in fact, it feels strange to reconcile myself with the fact that they are fictional. So that speaks to the immense skill of Adichie, I think. And then because I was so on board with the characters, I was also heavily invested in their stories. I cared what was going to happen to them. I cared about the decisions that they made. And I also just loved their love story. So please do read this. I definitely recommend. Next, we are talking about Translations, which is a play by Brian Friel that I had seen before but never read, so I decided to read it. And it is set in, I believe, the 1830s during the British occupation of Ireland, and specifically focuses on an Irish-speaking town in Donegal in Northern Ireland, where Royal Engineers for the Crown are engaged in the first Ordnance Survey of the country. Essentially, this means that their mission was to translate the local Irish place names into English place names to make them more palatable to the Crown. Reading this book, play, whatever, made me a bit sad and a bit angry, to be honest. It was basically like coming face to face with the erasure of my own history and tongue by this foreign power. Because as we know as a modern audience, the British did succeed in making English the primary language spoken here in Ireland. So it was a bit heartbreaking to read and see it happening at that time. But what I really liked about this play is that Friel doesn't necessarily set out to demonize all of these British soldiers, in fact, making one of them quite likable, but nor does he make out like all of the Irish characters were completely lacking in agency, in fact, making one of them very willing to help in the translation of the place names. And so it wasn't this black and white picture of, X is bad and Y is good. But it was sad to read about the subsequent erasure of culture that took place anyway. So this was very well done, and I didn't enjoy it. Enjoy is not the right word, but I appreciated it. The last book I read in August then was The Snapper by Roddy Doyle. This was a great book that was a simple insight into the lives of a family called the Rabbits in urban North Dublin. The premise is that one of the daughters of this family, 20-year-old Sharon, has gotten pregnant, and there is controversy and mystery over who the father is. The book is about her and the rest of the family coming to grips with her pregnancy and her reluctance to talk about the father. But really, this book is about what we feel like we can and can't discuss and express, particularly with our families and particularly in the context of a lower socioeconomic class. It was about Sharon's dad, Jimmy, trying to navigate how to relate to her and show his love to her. It was about the ways in which he tried to stand up for her, which was often through the lens of the threat of violence. It was about the prominence of the pub as the setting in which you can talk to your mates, but you can't really say what you want to say to them due to the restrictive social contract in place there. And I think Roddy Doyle really nailed all of these unspoken and unseen threads which dictated how this family were with one another, but generally just dictate how we all are with one another. I just thought it was so realistic, and I thought Doyle really used dialogue to his advantage in portraying all of this. Like, the dialogue was spot on. Above all, yeah, this was just a really fun and funny read, and I seriously laughed aloud while reading it, which I do not normally do. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed my drawing slash painting and also my thoughts. This was a really fun way of doing a wrap up. So, yes, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!